This is At Face Value.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Here we go again. Episode 26 of At Face Value. I'm Brian.
I'm Will.
And we're so excited to have you back for another week. And we got our boy Mike
Mike on the mic.
back on the mic. How's it going, dude?
It's good, man. How are y'all? Did you have a good Christmas?
Yeah, man, it was real good. Actually, yeah, we're running all over the place. We still got another one next weekend, so it just never ends. So,
Dude, you're going to be doing Christmas in February.
yeah, I mean, that's what we did. Like, there was actually one year, I think it was the year after COVID, we had a Christmas, like, in March, like, because, like, our
Nice.
family was, like, they were dead set on having it at some point, and so just, why not? Like,
Yeah. What episode number is this?
26.
26.
That's a half a year? Is
Half
that,
a year,
Is that my
dude.
math right?
Yeah.
You are correct, man.
God, done it every week for a whole
6
half a
months.
year, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah. Who would have ever thought, dude?
Not me.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, this could have been like year 4 or 5 if we started when we said we were going to start.
That's true.
So,
That's true. Yeah.
but now, yeah, we got a lot to cover today. I know, kind of, we started with it last week, and we're going to start with it again. MLB like signings are really kicking up. So I know, Mike, you really kind of wanted to go into it. So, kind of, what are your impressions right now?
Yeah, one of the things y'all pointed out last week early was Houston making moves early and not getting stuck on this Alex Bregman negotiations back and forth. I think Dana Brown's done a really good job pivoting quick and not getting held hostage by Scott Boras. He replaced, I want to say it was somewhere around 25, 30 WAR last year between Alex Bregman and Kyle Tucker, somewhere in that neighborhood, and replaced it like 85% at like 40% of the cost for the roster. He's done. I think you're actually seeing Dana Brown be a GM and not have Jeff Bagwell and Jim Crane running this team, and him actually be a GM, doing his thing.
So, do you think that they kind of realize, like, okay, we tried it our way and it doesn't necessarily work, and so we're going to try a different way? I mean, like,
God, I hope so.
I
You
mean,
know,
I
they
don't
were
know.
a whole lot better when they looked at advanced scouting and statistics and weren't just doing this old scouting feel stuff.
well, that's what I don't understand. It was like, and I know we've talked about this several times, but like, he was so, like, everything was so great with the analytics. I know you talk about like Jeff Luno, like really getting it rolling and getting everything going, and then all of a sudden it was like Dusty Baker comes in and says, well, I'm a big traditional guy. And then they hire Bagwell to be an executive. He's like, I'm a big traditional guy. And so it's like, let's go back to traditional baseball because, that worked real well in the past. So why not?
And they ran off James Click, who did a great job, with the bullpen, with getting that roster ready to rock and roll and moving pieces where he needed to, just because he didn't get along with Dusty Baker. I hated it. Dusty was the right guy for the situation they were in, but God, it was frustrating to watch this dinosaur just refuse to look at analytics.
And talking about Bagwell, like, he literally comes on a broadcast, like, randomly throughout the season and literally just absolutely poo-poos on freaking, like, advanced stats. Like, he'll literally be like, spin rate, like, and he'll be like, oh, launch angle, like, all this stuff. I'm like, dude, like, that's obviously proven multiple times to be important information. Like, and there's a fine line that I feel like GMs and managers should have. Like, obviously there should be some feel to it, and like, who has a hot hand, you should play that. But you should also have some analytics to back it up too, because there's arguments too that people get too analytical in the playoffs where they're like, oh, this person has the best odds to strike this guy out, and then they give a bomb. Like, they talk about it all the time with well, not anymore because they've won a World Series now, but with the Dodgers,
Yeah.
their manager multiple times has pulled starters, and I mean, shoot, AJ Hinch did it with freaking Garrett Cole. Like, that probably wasn't the right decision. Let the guy ride. Like,
Well, that's where he pulled Greinke.
yeah,
too
that was
early.
Greinke.
or was
Yeah.
it Greinke?
And once-
It was
once
Greinke
he
too early. It
pulled
was Greinke.
He should have just gone straight to Cole.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
That's
he,
what it was.
He
That's what
didn't
it was.
put Cole
Gave up
in.
2
yeah.
hits and 1 run, and then
Yeah.
He left Cole warming up in the bullpen
Yeah.
in Game 7 of the World Series.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
and he
what it
put
was.
Will Harris in, who pitched, I think, literally every game of that
game,
series.
yeah.
And so at a certain point, because I remember he even said after the series, he was like, he was my fallback card, and he said, I guess I played that card one too many times.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, again, the pitch that Howie Kendrick hit was
That was a great pitch.
It was a great pitch. He just blooped it over the right field fence, but
I think of all of his home runs that entire season, and maybe 2 seasons, that's the only one for Howie Kendrick that was right of center field. The only one.
Yeah. Juice balls.
Didn't go oppo one time.
Juice balls, dude.
Dude, that season was juiced.
It was crazy. The ball was flying off the bat that year. But yeah, I'm glad they're turning it around and not just doing this weird stuff with freaking Bagwell saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, Jose Abreu looks good. Let's sign him for a long-term deal." That's a good idea.
yeah, Montero had one great season.
And they actually
We gave him
But-
30-something million.
yes,
But the one thing I will say is like they actually like had the balls to cut him.
Yeah.
You know,
they did.
like that takes a lot of like
Well, and he was a class act when he was in Houston too. Like he took
Oh,
that
yeah.
reassignment, like realized that he wasn't getting it, like cutting the mustard. So they sent him down to spring training. He tried to get it right. The other thing about Christian Walker, dude's a 3-time Gold Glove winner at first base.
that's nice.
Like I didn't even realize that. Went and looked at it. I'm like, okay, so now we're getting back into this whole wanting good defensive first baseman as well as offensive. Because it is so important. Yuli Gurriel was a good
Yeah.
defensive first
Yeah,
baseman.
he
Yeah, that's
was.
neat. That's a neat
And so
thing. It's pretty neat that he's a Gold Glover. It's a cool. I mean, it's neat, dude. That's all. That's really great. Like honestly, I didn't know that either. That's a neat statistic.
yeah.
Yeah,
that's a fan stat, dude.
yeah, it probably is, dude. Fielding percentage.
What is that?
Who needs that, dude?
Hit ball hard. Ball
He just
go
looks
forward.
good.
Yeah.
That's the only thing he does on offense, though. So he's got to bring something defensively because he's gonna hit 250. Like
That's
you're
fine.
not gonna get above
I
250.
lived through the years with Chris Carter at first base hitting 212.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, we weren't competitive.
212
so,
with 50 bombs, like
like,
Is he? He's a right-handed hitter.
Yeah,
He's a right-
That's great.
Pull hitter.
That's great.
He's not as dead red pull as Isak Paredes, but he's still a pull hitter.
Yeah.
Those two dudes are both going to eat. And
we got to find
Dyken-
some left-handed hitting though.
Dyken Park.
Yeah.
I mean, right now all you got is
Literally, Jordan.
Jordan, right?
That, I think he's the only lefty in the lineup.
Yeah, because it was just him and Tucker, and now it's just him.
Yeah, we have no left-handed hitting, starting wise. I don't even know who on our backup side is going to be that can hit left-handed.
Yeah,
John Singleton.
I forgot about Big
dude.
John.
Big Bad John.
Dude, what a story! To
Talk
just
about
disappear
a-
for like 7 years and just
Gator.
resurface. But anyway,
Talk about a comeback, dude. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
Dude, but talk about like, I want him in the lineup just for his pimp jobs.
The pimp job.
He just chunks the bat.
unbuttoned jersey, like
yes,
Yeah.
dude.
yeah, it's going to be a strikeout or this thing's getting tanked 450.
Well, that's like I remember when the Astros first pulled him up, and he plays against the Angels and drops 2 nukes, and you're like, all right, this dude's back, and then like he like went like 0 for his next 30 something. Like,
Yeah, but you say strikeout. He has a pretty good eye. Like he had some good ABs
Yeah.
like down the stretch.
he
had-
did have some big walks.
Yeah.
his contact in the zone is just not great. There's just a
No,
lot of
it's
swing and
not.
miss in the zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's swinging 1,000 miles an hour, and he's just trying
Yeah.
to hit it. He's trying to hit the scoreboard. Like,
Yeah.
Sometimes he does.
yeah. So does Jordan though, but
That's true.
oh man, but
What else happened in the trade? We talked about it a little
yeah, I
bit.
know Corbin Burns. He
Corbin
just
Burns,
signed
yeah.
was it 6-year 210? I think it was 6 years with the D-backs.
Also neat.
But it's got to opt out after 2 years. So
Is it opt out after 2?
after 2, he
Yeah.
can reach free agency again at 32 years old in 2026. Which, for comparison, that's the same age Blake Snell just signed for $180 and some change with the Dodgers. So
Yeah.
we'll
How many, was that 6 years?
it was
for Dodgers? Or
6,
5?
5 or 6. I want to say no, it was 6-year deal.
6 years,
It was
yeah.
6 years.
yeah,
Well.
yeah, it was 30 a
Yeah.
year. Yeah,
It was 6
38 a
deal.
year with 30 deferred.
it's probably like
Snell-
130. I think.
Snell did have some deferred money on his,
It wasn't. I think it was 60. I think it was 60.
but
It was like the deferred money.
yeah. Interesting though. I mean, Arizona. I don't remember them really being on the list of teams everybody was like Corbin Burns might go to.
Yeah.
That just kind of came, and like they have a fairly strong starting pitching lineup coming into next year. So
They have a good pitching coach.
Like
the strong.
No, he's gone.
He's-
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, it was the same thing as the Astros. It was a mutual separation or whatever.
I just can't.
Probably
Like,
going to the Dodgers for some deferred money.
Yeah.
it's hard enough throwing 210 mil at an everyday player. Like I'd really struggle doing that with a pitcher. Like I could not. I would never want my team to throw 210 at a pitcher. I just couldn't
Yeah,
do it.
but
Like,
but the problem that I agree. During the regular season, that's a big point. But like
In the postseason,
in the
it matters.
postseason,
Yeah,
that's where they're getting their money.
that's true.
If you can get a starter to go 6 or 7 innings in a playoff game, like you're probably going to win that game.
Nowadays, it's just 5 and dive. Get
Well,
through
yeah.
5 and then get in the bullpen.
Well, and
because you've got so much rest built
Yeah,
in.
but if you're a dog, like a true starter, and you can go 7, like you can ride them 7 innings, like that's a lock almost.
Oh, yeah. You
And
talk
I
all
would
the
say,
time.
and I would say too, like it's more important now because of the new rule where they're trying to push the starters to pitch 6 innings.
Did they go through with that?
I thought they'd
No, I don't think they've
I
gone
thought
through
they
with it.
did.
They were
Haven't
talking
gone
about
through
it.
it
Yeah.
Health-wise, it'll never pass.
There's no way the CBA won't let that happen,
Yeah.
and I don't blame them. Like that's crazy.
I'm so tired of this just over involvement from the commissioner on baseball rules. I hate it.
Well, it's like he's so dead set on trying to get more people involved, and I feel like he.
Steroids legal again.
I mean, for real, but I feel like he literally watches Twitter and he was like, "Look, those 6 teenagers are complaining that the starters are only pitching 3 innings in the playoffs.
Yeah.
We should change it." And the majority of baseball people are like, "It's all strategy."
Yeah.
Kind of going back to the analytics, like, and sometimes it works in your favor, sometimes it doesn't. But
You play to win the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quit trying.
hello,
They're trying to artificially impose these things in baseball instead of just letting the game be the game. Like, however a team decides to play that game, that should be up to them. I don't need the commissioner. It's like, oh, sorry, you got to pitch your guy 6 innings. It doesn't matter they give up 5 tanks and walk 3 dudes.
Yeah.
I know there was parameters around that 6-inning rule that they had to pitch, and it had to do with pitch count and runs and stuff like that. But it's still the fact that we're even talking.
I don't
about
think
that,
runs were involved in it though. It was like if you got injured or like pitch count, but like if you throw 70 pitches over 6 innings, but you gave up 9 runs, like you're pitching 6 innings, like.
It makes no sense because you have to pitch 6 innings to even get a quality start.
Yeah.
Now you're going to make that the baseline bottom like that. That will never. I mean, I can see them stretching and maybe making them pitch 4, but 6 will never happen.
I would never say never, especially when Manfred's out there actually talking about this golden at bat rule.
Yeah.
The fact that he's even
Absolute
entertaining
trash.
that to me says I'm never saying never to any of these rule changes that they talk about. The fact that we're even entertaining it's
I'm with
wild.
Lucas. The CBA will buck all of this nonsense whenever it actually gets put on the table.
I do wonder when the next CBA is coming up. It's got to be pretty soon.
Well, I hate that they can just unilaterally decide this. Like the pitch clock changes, those were not.
No, those
They
were not voted on.
Those
No.
were unilateral changes made by the commissioner's office. And I just think that's wrong. I don't like that.
Yeah, dictatorship. Just making stuff up as you go.
Yeah, it's through 2026. So you got
quit
you got
messing
2
with
more
stuff it doesn't
seasons
need to
of the
mess
current
with.
CBA.
Yeah.
Like baseball's good as it is. You don't have to change all this stuff around.
Yeah, but I kind of get where they're coming from though. Like it's a slower sport.
It's fan
right?
motivated. All this stuff is fan motivated.
Yeah, like in the stands. But like in the stands, baseball's a great game to watch. But on TV, like I feel like people nowadays with phones, everything's so like in your face, fast paced. Like the faster pace, the better, right? You see these offenses in football, like the no huddle stuff. You're like, oh, go, go, go. Like that's-
Points. They
Yeah,
wanna see points.
It's action. Like nobody likes watching a freaking Big Ten Iowa versus Northwestern 6-3 game. Like nobody likes that. But you watch Ohio State and Oregon have a shootout. Everybody's like, oh, this is awesome.
So I guess let me ask
The
you.
only time you like it in baseball is if it's a no-hitter or
Hitter.
a perfect game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the only
Just
time
about
you
to say
care
that
about it.
exact
It
same
could be
point.
a 1-0 game, but if one of those guys is throwing a no-no,
Yeah.
all of a sudden we're cool
Yeah.
with it.
But if
Which
it's like
makes sense.
2-1 and just a good baseball game, it's like, oh, that wasn't very
But-
eye appealing.
But there is a difference though too. Like a 2-1 game in the middle of July is boring. A 2-1 game
In September,
in October.
yeah.
that's
Like
that's
in
just
October,
playoff
it's
sports
playoff
in
baseball, just freaking on your edge of your seat.
That's just playoff sports in general, though.
and that's where the 162 games a season like makes it hard, like to keep people engaged all year.
So let me ask you this though. Like, so you talk about like the excitement and trying to get people to watch and all that, but do you feel like the way the season's aligned, it's kind of in a bad spot too, to where like the beginning of the season runs through like the NBA playoffs, and then like the end of the season runs into like when the NFL season starts? Like, do you think that kind of plays into it?
I just think it's so long.
Yeah.
Like I think the season's just so long.
Well, I'm just
Keep
thinking
people
like
engaged that long.
yeah, like when
And it happens every day. Like football's
Yeah.
only on Sunday. It's like
Yeah.
you have time. Like, okay, I'm ready for the next game. Like when you're playing 5-6 games every week for 6 months, 7 months.
Yeah.
And
like,
it's one of those things too. Like baseball is a very passive sport, so like I can have it on while I'm doing stuff around the house, and I just kind of check back and forth, just kind of watch. I'm not watching pitch by pitch like I am in the playoffs.
Yeah, like more times
Like-
than not, you're not going to miss something.
Exactly.
If you go do whatever.
Exactly. It's more of a passive watch, but it's also one of those things too. Like at the beginning of the season, I'm super hyped for baseball season. Like pitchers catchers report, spring training happens, opening day. I'm pumped for a month. I'm locked in, and then once you start getting into the middle of summer, you're just like, gosh. This
So
is-
if it's like 2-3 games a week, do you think it'd be better that way? Like, because then it's kind of like there's a little break in between.
I mean, it would probably be better for viewership, but I feel like baseball is one of those sports where, like, the parity's so like you have to have a pretty long season to determine who's going to make the playoffs. Just because, like, averages over the course, like the Astros this year, they had a terrible start to the season, and then they got caught fire when they needed to, and they made the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, if it's a shorter season, they're not making the playoffs.
I think you. I don't know. I kind of teased this before. If you could find a way to cut some regular season games and expand the playoffs, that would help. Like kind of what the NBA does, because the NBA playoffs take forever.
Yeah.
But they every round 7 games, and like if you really want the best teams to win, like you got to get rid of a 3-game series in baseball because any team can win that.
Yeah.
At least make it 5. Like I don't know if you can make it all the rounds go to 7, but you got to at least make it 5. So I don't know if you need to cut 10 games, 15 games off the regular season to expand that, but that would also bring playoff baseball. Like NBA, we don't follow NBA a ton either, but playoff basketball you do. But when it lasts 2.5 months, there's more fan involvement. So
Yeah.
if you expanded the playoffs a little bit, you might get more viewership during that time, where you aren't going to catch that in the regular season.
So, if they're going to expand, like create expansion teams, like they've talked about, they've been talking about doing this for 5+ years. They do that, they're going to have to expand playoffs. And so, like, I would love to see it go to all 7-game series.
Yeah.
In the regular season, a little bit earlier. Go back to maybe I think 156 is what it was before it went to 162.
No, but with the expanded teams, like where are they talking about? I know Nashville's kind of been in the mix.
Montreal.
Montreal, of
They
course.
still want to go back to Montreal. I think that's definitely one that's going to happen.
I heard Mexico City's in the mix with that too. Is like Salt Lake City a possibility?
Maybe.
The Utah Baseball Club.
Hell yeah,
dude.
Austin maybe. Like I think Austin would be a good market for sure.
Austin or San Marcos. I know.
Well-
Well, hold on. Here's the deal. I know when we were back in college, we looked at this. They had a MLB.com like article, and it talked about San Marcos' relocation for the Rays because it's right between Houston, or not Houston. It's right between San Antonio and Austin.
Yeah,
Like
that'd be
actually San Marcos?
Yes.
that'd be the perfect
Like, San
location.
Marcos was like the listed name place.
Yeah, it's
to move the Rays
it's
to.
like Foxborough, like outside of like
Yeah.
Boston. You know what I mean? Like it's not like obviously building a stadium in the middle of Austin is not going to be cheap. You know, but put it in San Marcos where you have open land
Well, I was gonna say you
and
could
you
put
get
it like
people from San Antonio and Austin coming to games. Like
you
that
could
would
put it
make
like
a
right
lot of
between
sense.
San Marcos and New Braunfels probably, and I mean there's plenty of space out there.
Oh
still.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, and you're right off the toll road too.
Oh yeah, 130's there too. That makes a lot. That's
Yeah.
the toll road wasn't even there whenever we were talking about it.
Or Buda, like outside Buda wouldn't be a bad spot either. It's
Yeah.
all the way to San Marcos, but
That would be.
We'll call Elon, get him to.
Yeah,
invest.
the freaking the Austin Teslas. Freaking
Tesla Field at least.
Yeah,
dude, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
sick. Make it in the shape of a freaking Tesla truck. The stadium.
Tesla Stadium and Joe Rogan Field.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
I would love though, like especially if they do expansion. If they do expansion, it would be good actually because I would love to see them like actually like realign the divisions. Like I feel like the divisions right now, well, I mean, especially being an Astros fan, I hate being in the West
Yeah, it's awful.
and having to go to Seattle and Anaheim and going and then playing at 9:00 on a Wednesday night. It's like, dude, like I'm not gonna watch that game. Like it's like it doesn't make any sense. So.
Because there's 30 teams at the moment.
Yeah.
So you're saying what now? 32 is what the plan would be.
32, 34, somewhere around there,
Yeah.
but it probably starts at 32.
But dude, honestly though, if they do that, like how awesome would it be to let's just promotion relegation this thing. Like seriously, AAA teams. Like we're about to play a full season. The A's are about to play a full season at a AAA stadium.
And the Rays.
Right.
Oh, and the Rays. Like so it's doable for the capacity per stadium. Like instead of losing and tanking and getting a draft pick, you're going to AAA.
I would also argue those two teams are the lowest revenue teams as far as like fan attendance.
Agreed.
And part of that's because their old stadiums sucked. Like
Well,
getting to St. Pete was terrible.
For sure.
Yeah.
And
But
Osceola County Stadium was awful. It was built in the 20s for the Olympics.
okay, well, don't suck. Like get a team out there.
But the Rays don't really stink. Like
No.
They haven't.
Although
Their
the
stadium's just been a
2010s, they
bad
were
spot.
good.
Yeah.
And even they were good.
Yeah.
They just didn't care to come.
You also can't blame the Rays for that when a hurricane just destroyed their entire
No,
stadium.
I'm not. I'm
Wait.
not. But what I'm saying is,
I mean, we have a paper roof, though. I mean,
what I'm saying though is like the stadium capacity is not that big of an issue if they're allowing them to play in AAA stadiums. So like for example, like say the Round Rock Express do very well, like Dell Diamond should potentially be big enough to play in the major leagues.
yeah, but how does that work though? If like they're part of a farm system,
And that's where you'd have to scrap some of that. Like,
Yeah, like-
you would have to scrap farm systems or like completely revamp the whole system. And you could still do farm systems. You just would have like it'd be like independent ball or something. Like they have no chance of ever getting into like the tournament.
So essentially, you're signing on to a farm system, and like
How far down do you take relegation? Do you just go AAA? Or do you take it all the way down to AA?
I think AA would be the cutoff. Like just do a 3-tier, a 3-league. A 3-league thing and have it run that way. And once you're in, you're in. That's it. And those 3 leagues just bounce around every year. Like the bottom 2 from the major leagues go to AAA. The top 2 from AAA bump up to the major leagues.
If
And
you're doing 32, you got to go like bottom 8.
no, that's too
20,
much.
25%? You think 25% of the league's too much?
Oh yeah.
but
Nah.
man, like
How much do they do in the EPL?
3.
3? How
Yeah,
many
bottom
leagues are in
3.
the EPL?
Like 50.
In
Like-
the Premier League?
Like literally in England, like you can be like literally like Inez,
I
Texas.
know, but how many are like in the
In the Premier League.
in the
There's
Premier-
20 teams.
Okay, so and 3 get relegated, so that's okay.
And you know that
That 8 doesn't math, then you're right.
but you know the owners though, like they're not going to go for that ever because that's going to hurt their bottom line if they get relegated.
what I was gonna say too.
but then
like,
the owners of the AAA teams that can boost their bottom line,
but also,
vice
like,
versa.
you would have to completely revamp like everything.
The draft system, everything.
Like,
yeah.
well, but even the system, like, so if you go to like, and all of a sudden make these like independent or whatever, then all those players that you have drafted into that farm system, like,
You no longer own.
you have to. Well, that's what I mean, though. It's
Agreed.
like, so if your top prospects are in AAA, so I guess you either bring them up or whoever's left, you just.
Or you just actually have a salary cap, but then all the contracts that are there now it's going to make it tough. But you have a salary cap. Each team has a salary cap, and that's what they have to work under. Like, and you just sign free agents. It's all free agents. There's no developing. Like, the development will happen in AAA and AA. And so if those players in AA are doing really well, and they're making a name for themselves, well, if their stats are really good, then they can sign a bigger contract in a few years to go play for the Astros. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that would be what it is. They'd still be a farm system, but they'd be a farm system for like the entire major leagues. Like there would be a bidding war to sign that player.
So what happens to teams like Sugarland and Houston, where Jim Crane owns both the Sugarland Space Cowboys and the Houston Astros?
He would have to sell one of them.
So you're going to force the sale of it too.
Yes,
Interesting.
Yeah,
That's neat.
That sounds like.
that is neat.
That
I think it'd be
like
awesome.
something that the owners would never ever.
They would never do it, but I think that would be very good for the game.
I don't think MLB PA goes for it either.
Why not?
Because I think you're talking about revenue issues when you go down to AAA, because you're not going to have the television exposure that you do with these networks,
Agreed.
these regional networks. So how
The Major League Baseball would be the top league in the country.
Yeah.
So they would have all the like most expensive rights for television. But like, so if you're a AAA team and you get promoted, that season you get promoted, you're probably going to get a $20-25 million bonus just for the TV deal for that year.
Yeah.
And then the team that gets relegated,
Well, what happens to the guy that spent $300 million and his team gets relegated, and now all of his revenue's gone, and he goes bankrupt and has to sell the team.
He won't have to because again, there's a salary cap. You can't like
Okay, we're putting
like
salary.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Every team it's an equal playing field across the board now. So you have to manage your roster in a certain way to be able to do that.
That's where MLBPA will say absolutely not.
For sure.
It's the salary cap is the issue for them.
Agreed, but that would make it more competitive.
Yeah.
And potentially get more eyes on the game,
Well,
which could make TV deals higher.
And it prevents you from doing tanking.
Exactly. It makes it more competitive.
I say that as a guy whose team benefited greatly from tanking.
100%. But nobody wants to watch the A's and Angels at the end of the season. But if they're in a relegation battle, there's going to be people tuning into that.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be a way to get more eyes on it for sure.
I mean, I think it'd be cool.
It's a hell of a hypothetical that will never get to see unfold.
It's never gonna it's never gonna unfold
It
ever.
sounds very neat, though.
It is neat.
Probably the neatest thing I've heard today.
Yeah. Is it more neat than Chief Wahoo?
I don't know.
what's your
So
update?
the update is, we had our Chief Wahoo moment last time Mike was here with us. I have to unfortunately report, out of all the digging that I could do, just scouring the internet, I could not find any evidence of a Chief Wahoo that ever was actually a chief of a tribe.
I thought we actually did establish that the last episode, though. Like,
Did we?
well,
I don't know.
Maybe it was afterwards. We said it was just a caricature. Like, it was just.
It was, but I was like, man, in the course of history, there's got to have been a Chief Wahoo. Like, that just sounds like an actual chief name that would have come up at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't find, I mean, again, there's no evidence for everything, but there's nothing documented that I could find scouring the internet. So if any of you listening want to go try to do it and get a better result than me, because I'm determined to find a Chief Wahoo. I just haven't
There
found him
has
yet.
to be one for
I
sure.
has
do
to be.
appreciate you putting in the legwork to
Yeah,
fact check yourself.
I did. I thought Lucas might have had something there.
No, I didn't look at all.
Yeah.
I did zero
I know, but
research.
I was thinking maybe he's right. Maybe he's right, and all we're laughing for no reason. Maybe he had the valid point the whole time.
No,
Unfortunately, I haven't found him, but y'all go find Chief Wahoo.
no, that was.
He's gotta be out
That was
there.
a Skip Bayless take for sure.
I mean, what can I
Yeah.
say?
Yeah.
I don't know, man, but yeah, I mean, obviously there could always be a way to improve the whole system, but I mean that would be a complete overhaul. That would take years. Like,
I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'd say I'd like for that to happen. That would make it a lot more
in
fun.
an ideal world, for sure. No, I agree.
But there's way too many hoops to jump through.
Speaking
and-
of hoops, what's going on in the NBA, Will?
Dude, what a transition.
Yeah. We're like middle season.
We are
man.
crushing it today.
It is just,
That was a neat transition, man.
of course, I follow the Rockets. They've been up and down. They're getting in fights today. We can't hold a fourth quarter lead. We had a 16-point lead with 4 minutes to go earlier this week.
Was that
Blew
against
it.
the Timberwolves?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Blew it. Had a lead today against the Heat. Blew it. So what I'm worried about is they're going to start panicking that, hey, we can't finish these games. We need to trade our young core and go get a 35-year-old veteran who's going to suck.
Well, it's like what I keep telling people. Like, the Rockets are a year ahead right now.
They're literally the
Like-
Thunder from a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Like, Thunder had the number 1 seed last year, didn't do good in the playoffs
Yeah.
as far as they wanted. They're ahead of schedule. And they're doing this in the NBA right now. They're winning the West without Chet Holmgren.
Yeah.
He's still out. Like, Hartenstein's been hurt. Like, don't break up this core. Do not do it. But teams just like to reach and trade away because some guy was good 8 years ago and he's at the end of his career and he wants to go to a winning team and like, oh, this is going to fix us. Don't do it.
Well, that was like even when at one point they talked about bringing James Harden back. And I was like, man, I feel like that's like
Terrible.
the worst thing you could
Terrible
do
idea.
for like your young core is to put this selfish guy in the middle of it who's going to take away from the development of the rest of your team. And luckily they ended up not doing it. And I do feel like hopefully they will stay on the path because, I mean, I agree. I mean, I think it would be great
Like,
great
they
for
keep-
them overall.
The one that's getting thrown out there the most is Jimmy Butler. Do not trade for 30. Do not give up one of these young players or two of these young players and a couple first rounds picks for 35-year-old Jimmy Butler.
He's 35.
He's 35. Don't do this. And the other one was Kevin Durant. We'd have to sell the farm for Kevin Durant, who's also 35 or 36. Yes, he's still Kevin Durant, but you're going to give up all this stuff for maybe to go to one finals and probably not win it.
I was
When you
gonna
have a
say,
chance
'cause-
to be a consistent contender in the West for years to come.
Well, especially Durant, who's proven that like he can't lead a team on his own to a
Just
finals.
let these guys figure it out. And you have good pieces everywhere. You have a good mix. offense is rough. If we could find a good quality 3-point, just a wing shooter, that would be fine. But not safe to break the bank for. And there's those guys out there, but we can't score from the 3-point line. We don't shoot that well. We're like a 30-something% field goal percentage team, but the defense is awesome.
Isn't that crazy how it shifted? Because like the Mike D'Antoni days, like that was all they. Like I remember they would break down the shots. Like they either shot from the paint or they shot threes. Like they were like one of the lowest mid-range shooting teams in history.
Yeah.
Do they even shoot mid-range jumpers anymore at all in the NBA?
No.
Chris Paul.
DeMar
That's the only
DeRozan.
one.
DeMar DeRozan still, he's kind of a mid-range jump shoot guy. But, like, to just have a guy that do it now, it's all about the three. I mean, it's worth more points.
Dude.
And people just love watching guys pull up from 40.
The fundamental, man. Give me some bank shots back,
No.
dude.
Timmy.
Tim Duncan.
The Tim Duncan days are over, dude. Like,
All that's gone. I mean, even because I talk about Chet Holmgren and, like, Wembanyama. The other night, I don't remember who they played. He went 6 of 16 from 3. He's 7-4.
he's shooting
He
three-pointers.
shot 16 3-pointers in a game. Like, this guy's also averaging 4 blocks a game. He's probably going to win Defensive Player of the Year. He already has almost 100 blocks this season. He's great defensively. But this guy's shooting, 8 threes a game on average.
The dude touches the rim without jumping, and he's shooting
threes.
three-pointers.
Like, and that's part of his game. Holmgren can step out and shoot threes.
Yeah.
Like Porzingis with the Celtics. These 7-foot guys are shooting threes.
yeah.
And
crazy.
They're not, like,
Shaq can't hit
we're
a
not going to
free
see a Shaq.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a guy that's going to come in and be a Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaq would never.
And thrive in the way the NBA is now.
Not to completely derail, but have y'all heard that conspiracy theory about who Jimmy Butler's real dad is?
Shaq?
Michael Jordan.
Oh, I did
There's
see
an
that.
actual
like-
conspiracy that Jimmy Butler's dad's Michael Jordan.
Is Jimmy Butler the dude who did the emo pick?
Yeah, the
Yes.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
What a freaking monster, man. That
He went
dude
to Tyler Junior College
did he really?
in Tyler, Texas.
Yeah. He would have played VC.
Yeah.
Wow.
He could have been on one of your videos of those dudes just throwing up the
Dude,
backboard
some of
and
those
slamming
guys
it.
are
like-
crazy. But no, what's this whole conspiracy thing? Like how
No, it's like a conspiracy of like.
does he look like him?
No, it's like the area
Not at
like
all.
that Michael Jordan was living at the time. Like
Tyler, Texas?
Jimmy Butler doesn't know who his dad is,
Oh,
and
wow.
Michael Jordan was like in the area. I mean, you might know it better
Yeah,
than I would, but
There's an overlap on like a road trip versus where Jimmy Butler's mom was from, and it's a stretch. I briefly looked into it, but like I couldn't spit it back to you word for word about like, what
God.
the actual theory is.
It could be when the aliens abducted Michael.
Could have been.
You know,
They
so
stole all of his power.
that's right.
That's true. Yeah.
nah, they didn't take Michael's power.
That's right.
Nah.
Sorry.
They took Charles Barkley.
Yeah, yeah,
Muggsy Mo- or Muggsy
yeah,
Mo.
yeah. God,
Good times, but now the NBA. I mean, yeah, like you said, it's still a few months where people actually start caring about it or whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, speaking of the NBA, though, I thought it was kind of funny. I think I texted in the group chat. I might not have, but I think it's hilarious that, like, forever it's been that the NFL gets Thanksgiving and the NBA gets Christmas.
Yeah.
And then this year the NFL's like, you know what? We're going to take Christmas too. And LeBron was like, oh, I love the NFL, but the NBA's our day. And then they showed the viewership, and the 2 NFL games averaged 25 million views per game, and the NBA averaged under 5. So
Yeah.
just absolute domination by the NFL. Like, there's like, which I mean is no surprise. I mean, obviously, like,
I'm interested to see how the NFL responds. Like does Goodell come out and like, screw it, let's do 3 games next year and make them like Bengals, Ravens, Chiefs, Bills, and Eagles, Cowboys.
I mean,
like, just to be an absolute ass.
I mean, why not? Because I mean, like, so they did it on Wednesday this year. I mean, you could do it. You could do it every year.
And next year it falls on a Thursday, which
That's what I mean.
It
So,
makes
like,
the scheduling so much
So
better.
you're already going to have your Thursday games, and then it's going to be on a Friday. You do it on
just
a
do
Friday.
3 of them, make them all like must watch.
I mean, like,
football,
the
just to
only-
be like, you want Christmas? No, we're gonna take it.
Yeah, but I mean, the only day like you would really like have to maybe stretch would be a Tuesday. But like every other day of the week, like why not? Like,
They also need to make sure they don't have a team playing 3 games in a 10-day span.
dude,
yeah, that's
forget that. The Cowboys have played 3 games in 11 days since the beginning of time, playing on that Thanksgiving day, and nobody ever says anything. And then all of a sudden,
It's not 10 days though; it's 11.
That's what it was. It was 3 games in 11 days. That's what Mahomes was complaining about. But guess
Yeah.
Guess who's complaining? Patrick Mahomes. Now all of a sudden, everybody's like, "Oh, boo-hoo, freaking these players!" Like, dude, shut up. You're getting paid $50 million.
Yeah.
You play every day of the week. You're gonna play like.
Nah, I'm with Mike here. Get rid of it. That's the sole reason the Texans got embarrassed 31-2.
That's the sole
It's
reason.
the sole reason. It's the only reason because they had to go through this rough stretch.
Kaimi Fairbairn almost cost me $250
Oof.
in fantasy because he threw up a goose egg.
The
He
whole
didn't kick
team
a
threw
field
up a
goal.
goose egg.
But he didn't even kick one, did he?
Huh? No, he didn't even attempt.
They scored
Yeah.
2 points. It's a safety.
I know.
Yeah, they had a
He
safety.
didn't even get close enough for an attempt. It was bad.
Joke.
Yeah.
I had a prize picks where it was a Green Goblin to C.J. Stroud throw 1 touchdown. He couldn't throw 1 touchdown.
It was a joke. It was
Dude,
a joke.
I'll take the
Everybody
blame.
wasted time just to go to that game. Christmas Day, all these people excited.
Hey,
I
but
hope they went to watch Lamar because he made us look like a joke of an organization.
They went to watch Beyonce.
That's what they did.
Yeah.
Don't even get me. That was the stupidest. I get it. She's from Houston and all that crap, but
I think that's when the viewership peaked.
Yeah.
I'm serious. That's what they were
else-
saying.
Everybody else tuned out during the game. I mean,
Yeah,
the
they
game
said
was
that's when the
horrendous.
viewership peaked was whenever she came on. Queen Bee, dude.
Yeah, Cowboy Carter. I don't want to say something too bad. I might end up in their little circle of crap, but it was a
Yeah,
joke.
the Queen Bees.
Yeah,
They'll come at you, man. They'll come find you, dude.
Come
They
at me.
scour the internet.
She's not country. It's a joke. Like don't be trying to steal country music. Like, it's stupid.
Do you
I
have
hated
that-
it. I hated every moment of it.
Do you have that same energy for Post Malone?
No, because Post Malone actually sang songs that sounded decently country. Like I don't think a single song on Cowboy Carter sounds like a country
Yeah.
song.
Well, and he did.
And he, like, collabs
Morgan
with
Wall
country
and
people.
yeah, some
I'm
And
pretty
now,
sure-
like, country. You have Nashville country, you have other country. That's a whole nother argument to get into. But her deal, trying to step in foot into country, at least try. Like nothing on that album was country. It was.
Yeah.
It's
I
a.
haven't listened to it for what
Yeah.
it's worth.
I
I
can't
think-
say I have either.
Don't waste your time.
No, but
I didn't
I'm
plan
pretty.
to.
I'm pretty sure Post Malone before he got into his genre of music. I'm pretty sure he played country music. Like
He's
that's
been
what-
teasing this for
he's
years.
from Texas.
He's from Dallas.
I was like,
Yeah.
I think he's been a back and forth.
Yeah,
kinda-
he's done that.
He's
Like,
been teasing this, and I mean, I didn't hate it. I mean, if you like mainstream country, like okay, that's
I love Posty, dude.
I
That
love
dude's
Post
I mean,
Malone.
that dude's a chill guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's a chill dude. I mean, I've never minded his music, like any of it.
Yeah.
He's pretty grounded too. Like he moved out of L.A. to Salt Lake because he didn't want to get caught up in all the stuff, like and wanted to
Like the
just do his
Diddy
job.
stuff.
Yeah.
Probably. He probably took one look at those white parties and was like, "Nah, I'm good.
No, he
This is sus."
but he's versed in everything as well. Like all genres of music, he does it all. And then he's even he loves sports. He loves the Cowboys. Obviously, he's a big
Yep.
Cowboys
Yeah,
fan.
shoot.
He's a huge PC
Poor
gamer
guy.
too.
Dude, he's also a huge
He's a nerd.
he's a nerd, right?
nerd.
Like Magic the Gathering,
Yeah.
he's super into that. I'm serious. Like the card game. There was this I guess they came out with a set or something. It was like Lord of the Rings, and there was a one of one the ring from this movie card, and he bought it for $2.3 million.
Chump change.
Yeah, but that's how
him.
that's how big of a nerd he is. He's like, dude, I gotta have that. It's freaking awesome. But I know he's definitely a huge Cowboys fan because he remade. I guess it was when Darius Rucker was with Hootie and the Blowfish. I only want to be with you, and in that song he says, "The Dolphins make me cry," talking about the team,
Oh,
and
yeah.
post the Cowboys make me cry. He literally changed the lyrics for the Cowboys. It goes pretty well.
Love
Yeah.
that.
Well, he even said something in his collab with Blake Shelton. He mentioned something about Cowboys making him drink or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. But no, he's
We're all
good
there
guy.
post, I promise.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm joining that bandwagon pretty soon with my sorry ass organization.
They're
But no,
hosting a
it-
playoff game. What are you crying about?
I don't, dude. Give it. We could put the Giants and lose right now. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
I mean, when you lose your top 3 receivers to all significant injuries, it makes it tough.
Yeah.
Who's C.J. Stroud supposed to throw to?
Dude, I mean,
Fairbairn?
Nico Collins is still good.
I mean,
Dalton
The kicker-
Schultz is a serviceable tight end. John Mechie's not a bad wide receiver. Robert Woods is still there. There's still guys on this team. Stroud's just regressed, and Bobby Slowick, I don't know what happened. He went
Dude,
from getting head coaching jobs to he may not have a job if he does this again next year.
Stroud regressed a lot.
Yeah. This is a sophomore slump. This is one of the worst I've seen. In
I
a
was at
while.
my in-laws for Christmas, and the game just happened to be on because I don't have Netflix. But But I was watching it, dude. He could not hit an open receiver.
Well,
like,
and that's-
like he was overthrowing, underthrowing. Like it was, and it wasn't like they were like tight coverage.
No,
You had to
just
put it in
bad
tight
throws.
windows. Like they were open receivers. It was kind of crazy.
Well, and that's kind of what I was talking about before the season too, because I know a lot of Texan fans were hyped up on him, and I mean, like you see it so many times is the rookie season quarterbacks do great because there's no film, and then they have their great year, and then the next year, like the defenses adjust to you, and so then it's kind of like year 3 is what makes or breaks a good quarterback because it's like, okay, you had your great year, now defense have adapted to you. How are you going to adjust back and start making more progress? Because I mean,
Yeah.
I'm with Lucas though. It's the fundamentals. Like it's the little 5 and outs that he's missing. Like he's behind guys. He's overthrowing them. And granted, the offensive line play has
Sounds like
been
Dak.
horrendous. So like he doesn't have time back there. But he was making those throws.
yeah,
last
there's
year.
a guy right down the highway that does the exact same thing.
Yeah.
His name is Rain Dakota Prescott.
Is that his real name?
That's his actual name, yeah.
So Dak's not on his birth certificate.
No, his first name is Rain. It's Rain Dakota Prescott.
That's pretty fitting because he's
Dakota. Okay, I
money's
see where it comes from.
raining
Yeah.
for him, and he doesn't do anything to deserve it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. But yeah,
Speaking of the Cowboys, they did a great job today.
yeah.
They had the opportunity. All Micah Parsons is talking about is ruining the Eagles' chances of winning the division. And they go out, and he didn't have a single sack. I don't even know if he had a tackle today. Like Micah Parsons was.
Who
like,
was the third string quarterback they let score a touchdown on?
It was McKee. I don't even know his first name. It's McKee. He's never played an NFL snap in his life.
That's what I thought. Like,
But dude-
I've never heard of this cat.
Dude, like, but he was actually making good throws. Like he threw a back shoulder throw to AJ Brown. I was like, dude, I
The
can't.
touchdown throw was a good pass.
That's what I'm saying. Like Dak can't even do it. But then, like, dude, like I'm following. I said in the group chat, I'm following abuse charges against Mike Zimmer because he decides that he's going to put a rookie cornerback man to man on Devontae Smith. Like
Yeah.
the dude should have 3 touchdowns. One got called back for a holding, but the rest of it, like he's just running down the field. There's nobody within 100 yards of him. Like, dude, you're going to put a rookie on that dude and expect him to do anything. Like Devontae Smith could have had as many yards as he wanted to today, but once they got the lead, all they did was try to get Saquon his
Saquon.
yards to get him the. Because dude, he only had like 60 yards at half, and
Ended with,
then
like,
he ended up
152
with
or
like
something?
150. Yeah, they just kept giving the ball. Like in the first half, it was like 4, 5, 6 yards, and then in the second half, like the defense was on the field the entire game, so it was like 10, 12, 15, like just busting them. So
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably going to get the record next week, which I
Yeah.
hate because I mean getting that extra game, but
Where did he go to school?
Penn State.
he went to Penn State.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's coming up soon. Penn State and
Great transition.
He was so excited for that. He was so excited.
no.
Sure, it's still college football.
Yeah,
season, so
yeah.
that's the meat of the stuff to
Yeah,
talk about.
and hopefully this round is going to be better. It has to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think half of the games will be better.
Yeah, probably.
'Cause, I mean, like
Literally half. Yeah.
the first one. I mean, so Penn State and Boise State are playing Wednesday night. No, Tuesday night.
Tuesday night.
New Year's Eve.
That's great.
Oh, yeah. I think what Penn State's a 11.5 point favorite now. So, I mean, I don't know. Like,
As they should be.
I hope Ashton Genty runs all over them.
He
Man.
can and they'll still lose.
Dude,
Yeah.
I don't think he does, man. This is the best defense that he's faced so far.
by far.
Like
No doubt.
by a long shot. Like his number on Prize Picks is 156. Dude, that's a hard under for
I would
me.
say I would hammer the under on that.
I
like-
just love seeing Big Ten schools lose.
yeah,
I love it.
Not good.
but
Well,
three of the freaking teams left in are Big Ten schools.
I'll say
Yeah,
one
but
of them's
one
going
of
to
One of
going
them's
to
going to lose, yes, just because of the draw. But I mean, there's going to be 2 in the Final Four.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Boise State's
right.
not beating Penn State.
You're right. Maybe
No.
Oregon and Ohio State could both
Never,
lose.
never say never.
They
You
might
trying-
tie.
You trying to drop money right now or what? I mean, no, I mean, like, I think Penn State's going to roll. I mean, like I said, I think defense is good.
Where's that game at? That Penn State game?
It is it's the Fiesta Bowl, so
Yeah,
it's in
in
Arizona.
yeah.
Oh, Boise Fiesta Magic.
That's true.
Oh,
Yeah, there's
man.
a little bit of history there.
They're going to bust out the hook and ladder again?
Hook and ladder, and then with the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah. God, dude. That was still one of the greatest games ever.
Yeah, that was
Oklahoma
Hey,
an
game.
dude.
unbelievable game.
I don't think they have a chance, but nobody gave them a chance to beat Oklahoma.
No, dude,
So-
that is for sure. That's
Yeah, that was a crazy
Maybe
game.
they can pull back some magic from. That's got to have been what, 15, 20 years ago? 20 years
Shoot.
ago?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was in elementary school. I remember watching that game.
a long time ago.
Were you in No.
No, it was 2007, I think. Who's the quarterback that year?
I was-
trying
I
to
was-
remember his name. No, it was not Kellen Moore.
Wasn't
It
he
was-
on the cover of the
He
NCAA
was.
football
He
game
was,
after that?
yeah. I can't remember his name, but yeah, dude.
I just remember the sideline reporter messing up that proposal.
It was
hilarious.
07. It was 07. And didn't the dude who caught the pass propose to his girlfriend
Yeah.
cheerleader right after?
So no, but that was the part. So the reporter was gonna do it live. So he went and got the player and the girlfriend. He was like, I can't remember the guy's name, and then he's like, "This is your girlfriend. I hear you have a proposal you'd like to say to her." And it's like, dude, that was the worst choice of words you could have ever used. And
That's
he's like,
awesome.
"Has to, like now propose." Like you could have used any other word, but anyway,
Proposition for you.
yeah,
Come on.
anything. But
That was Jared Zabransky.
There you go.
Zabransky. There you go.
Zabransky.
Yeah.
Wonder what he's doing these
I was
days.
thinking the same thing.
He's
Dude,
a car salesman.
I was
like-
just gonna say, dude, he's definitely
Selling
an
insurance?
enterprise car rental.
Oh man.
Heard they got a good management program there.
Yeah, is that right?
Actually, yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Hey,
You see all the commercials like after college, we hire the like that kind of thing. But no, that's not happening.
Yeah, I don't see
Penn
Boise
State's
Fiesta Bowl magic.
no Penn State. I think Penn State rolls.
yeah.
And then on New Year's we got a good slate,
Yeah, the first one's at noon. It's Texas and Arizona State, which I think is probably going to be pretty similar.
and that's in
That
Georgia.
is the Peach Bowl. So it's
Yeah,
Georgia.
in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's Scadaboo's number? Did you see that one?
No, but that's the key to the game. You stop him, you win.
Yeah, I mean, like the
You
one
know?
stat that I saw when Texas played Clemson is that they said they give up 3.1 yards per rush, which is pretty insane.
Yeah.
And so to think that Scadaboo's all of a sudden going to show up and just ball out, I mean, I don't see any way that that's going to happen. But
I mean, he could, but I mean,
he's at 100.5.
I mean, I'm going under on that too.
I mean, you think? I mean, I don't know. I mean, because
He,
Dude, what
he
did-
might get that. But
What did he rush for against Texas State? Like,
he ended up
honestly.
close to 100, I think. But that's because like he kind of busted out like in the fourth quarter.
I don't know. As far as the game goes, with
He had
that,
62 yards against Texas State.
60, yeah.
That's
24 rushes for 62 yards.
exactly.
And I mean,
Unfriendly confines of
Jim Wackerfield.
Wackerfield and San Marcos, Texas.
But no,
I think the key is more Texas offense than the defense. Like, which Ewer shows up, which offense shows up.
I don't think it's going to matter because I don't think Arizona State's going to be able to score.
I mean,
That's kind of my point. Is like
But like, whose defense would you say is better, Clemson or Arizona State?
Clemson's.
Yeah, and they put up 38 against Clemson.
Yeah,
So
but
Whose defensive line is better, Texas's or Texas State's?
yeah,
Texas State.
yeah, obviously.
Clearly.
62 yards,
Hey,
dude.
did you know Blake Bell was a 4-star prospect?
Yeah, from Cedar
That's why
Park.
he transferred.
Yeah, he's from Cedar Park.
Sad dude.
Yeah. Texas State actually just got the backup from Pitt.
They got the backup from Pitt, and they got they got the backup running back from UNLV too, who actually had like 8 or 900 yards this year.
They had to replace
Mahdi.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, where he ended up going?
Arkansas.
No. No. I don't think it was Arkansas.
That's
I think it was
that's what
Arizona.
said in the chat was Arkansas.
Yeah, that's what it was going to be, but
Oh,
I'm
okay.
pretty sure
He ended up
he
going somewhere else.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
because that's a big hole. Because he was a solid.
We still have
dude-
Lincoln
but dude,
Perry, right?
he split carries a lot throughout the year.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I'm assuming that's probably why he dropped.
Let's see, where's he going?
It's from Plano. I didn't know that.
God dang it.
They didn't say anything about where he's going, but
Hayes Fawcett on X broke it a few days ago, I think.
it says Arizona offered. So Arizona offered him. Oh yeah, he has committed to Arizona. That was the
Yeah.
21st.
Yeah, he went to Arizona.
Dang, 5'9", 187. He's a big dude. I wonder if he'll be able to go to the NFL.
He has the speed for it for sure.
Yeah.
Because he was good in the return game too.
Yeah. I mean,
How's his pass blocking?
I don't know.
I graded him a B minus. So
he's a very
great.
neat pass blocker.
Neat pass.
yeah, he can work on a little bit of his game in that aspect. But and then what's the next game?
The next one
That's
is
enough Texas State.
the next one's the big one. That's the Ohio State Oregon, which Ohio State's a 2.5 point favorite right now.
That's
That
probably
one's
about right.
that's the what is it? The Rose Bowl. So
Yeah, that would make sense with having a Big Ten team in it.
Yeah.
No, just because that's.
All the way out on the West Coast.
I mean, that's the Rose Bowl every
Dude,
year.
some of these
Yeah.
don't make a
Is
lot
it?
of sense.
Yeah, the Rose Bowl is always Pac-12 Big Ten matchup.
Shows how much I know.
still is.
Yeah. I mean, kind of is.
Yeah, it is true.
still.
It
Yeah.
kind of is. But I mean, I think we talked about it last week. If Ohio State plays like they did,
Nobody's beating
I
them.
don't think many people are beating them.
Oregon also kind of one of the more disrespected number ones. Like it's throughout the course of the year. I know they,
They suck.
yeah.
But no,
Maybe,
I-
Keep them uniforms
like
out of here.
it's-
I feel like as a number one team, like no one's sitting here really like, oh, Oregon's just a really good number one team.
Well, here's the deal. They played one team all season. It's the same deal with Texas. Like Texas didn't play anybody until they
What do you
played
mean?
Georgia.
They beat Boise State, who's a playoff team.
It's true.
Yeah.
Strength of schedule goes up.
Can't argue facts.
They beat two playoff teams.
Strength of schedule.
Actually
strength
3.
Of record.
Idaho did make the FCS playoffs too. So
Yeah,
So I think,
Oregon should be like a 21-point favorite. Then they're the best team in the country.
agreed. They probably beat Ole Miss too.
I think that's a large part of it. They played the only real game they had was Ohio State at home, which was a very close game. So I think that's part of it. Ohio State's also playing really well right now.
But dude, they were in a close game against Boise State too. Like he's
3-point game.
Yeah.
He's like making fun of it, but they actually were in like they were very very
Ginty
close.
ran for like 200 something.
Yeah, 200 yards against them. So I mean, I don't know what I'm gonna get at a Oregon really, because the Wisconsin game that was like a 16-13 game.
yeah.
Like
You could make that same argument though, like, well, which team are you going to get out of everybody? Because then
True.
we're not that far. Like, everybody's like, oh man, and I said it last week. That Ohio State team's winning the national title. That team's not losing. A week and a half ago,
yeah, they got
the Michigan game.
Yeah,
happened.
you're
I will
absolutely
say
right.
too, like I want Ohio State to win because I do feel like they have one of the if not the best offense in the nation, and then getting to play the best defense in the nation against Texas. Like I think that matchup would be
that would be a great.
it would be
matchup.
crazy to watch. Like I would love to see that.
And we're getting it again week 1 in 2025.
Yeah, exactly. So it's almost like a preview to
Yeah.
especially like if the winner of that one ends up winning it all and then like turn around and having to play in the next one, like that'd be kind of
Yeah.
crazy. So I don't know, we'll see. But
And the nightcap.
the nightcap is Notre Dame and Georgia, which
Dude.
I think we talked about. Notre Dame starts a 2.5 point favorite. It went all the way to 2.5 for Georgia, and then and now it's dropped back to a 1.5. So I mean it's pretty much like a pick 'em at this point. I mean
Yeah, and that's probably about right, especially with Beck. I mean, I think the line would be heavier on. No, it wouldn't. But I just don't think Carson Beck's a good quarterback.
I
at
do
the end of
think,
the day.
but I think because
He's
of the
better.
media hype, I think it would be favored higher to Georgia
Yeah.
because of that. But I didn't realize that they said he's out completely. Like he ended up having surgery.
Yeah, supposedly, didn't you say he entered the draft?
He did declare.
he
Yeah,
ended up
He declared
declaring for the draft
after
too.
post
So
surgery. So.
What happened to his elbow? Was it UCL?
I
I
believe
think
so.
it was literally the same injury that happened to Brock Purdy. I'd said it on here before. Like Purdy had that one in the Super Bowl or the NFC Championship game, whatever it was, a few years back, and he had to have. It was like the exact same injury. He got hit as he was releasing, and just something in that elbow. But they said he's going to be. He won't be able to work out at the combine or anything, but he'll be able to throw like in April or May. So like right after the draft. Which
yeah, that's
is
actually what it says
kinda
right there.
convenient.
He'll be coming back from the same sort of UCL injury that Brock Purdy underwent.
Yeah, and Purdy's fine. I
Yeah.
mean,
Is it Tommy John?
it's
Yeah.
not Tommy John.
Not Tommy John.
No.
Okay.
At least they don't say that that's
Yeah.
the same kind of surgery. It's just that
I-
they just call it UCL surgery. So
I would think it's probably Tommy John.
I just don't know why they wouldn't say it then.
I guess it's a baseball exclusive.
Yeah, but like guys in
No.
baseball, if he's
I know, I
if,
just-
no,
But the
but,
ramp up period is what takes so long with UCL. Like,
but like if he's able to throw the football in April or May, like that can't be Tommy John because guys
Yeah.
in baseball ain't throwing.
No.
yeah, but
5
it's,
months
it's
later.
different torque. They're throwing.
That's
like,
true, but-
I mean, I've rehabbed multiple UCLs, and we're throwing easily at that point. We're just not ramping up and throwing like
That's fair.
100%.
That's fair.
Well, and the type of pressure you're putting
Yeah.
on throwing a football versus a baseball is completely different too. So
Yeah.
throwing a football versus a baseball is completely different too.
It's
so
it's different for pitchers versus like other position players. Like Matt Wieters had
Yeah.
UCL, Tommy John surgery, and I think he was playing like 6 months later.
Yeah,
Harper did.
yeah.
Harper played first.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I've done it with position players where they go back in a shorter period of time for sure.
But as far as Georgia goes, I mean, I'm not so certain they're not better off with Gunnar Stockton.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I'm not saying he's going to be a better quarterback than Beck, but like Notre Dame's got nothing on this guy except for
Yeah.
that half against Texas.
Yeah.
That's not a lot of tape. And sometimes you can just come out and shock a team because they just really don't know what to plan for.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Well,
not saying I'm not saying it's going to happen. But I just say
you
I
saw
can
it in that
see it
half
happen.
against Texas. Like
He came out
Yeah,
hot.
came out hot.
Then he kind of regressed. But I mean, if you used to do that enough, I've said it last week again. Notre Dame doesn't have the high flying offense that's going to just go get 21 points in a hurry.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they had the 98-yard with Bryce Love, but like that's not how they do. That's not how they run their offense. So
You can't. Yeah, you can't bank on that.
correct. Like if Georgia can go out and Gunnar Stockton can throw something together and they can get up 14, 20-7 or something, like I
Notre
think,
Dame's gonna have a hard time.
I
coming
think
back.
they'd have a hard time coming back. I mean, Notre Dame's got a really good defense though, so for him to, this is his first start. Not a spot I'd like to put him in, but I mean, I don't think you just can say like Georgia's got. I mean, Notre Dame has so much better chance because they have Gunnar Stockton at quarterback.
Biggest cat I've ever seen. In my
They're gonna rely heavily on the running game for sure. Like that's gonna be Georgia's mo. I think.
Just the Etienne, just like run him.
Just totally
Yeah,
heard
dude, for
him.
sure. Maybe even like I know he's not like Stockton's not like a runner or anything, but like I'm sure they'll have some read option like going on in there too. Just because they're not going to put him in a position to like stretch the field too much. Just because like that's just how I see it playing out. I mean, he could be throwing freaking 50-yard bombs for all I know, but I just
That's
don't.
back to the point. Like we don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
you
there's
don't
Not
know.
enough of what he's done. I'm sure they'll dig up some high school tape on the kid, but
Yeah,
it's-
but I'm sure because he's able to run a little bit better than Beck, I'm sure that they'll probably put more emphasis on that. I
Yeah.
would assume.
And I mean, obviously, like if you can run the ball, you're in more control of the game. You're not at risk of turnover risk is way obviously significantly lower too. So I think they'll just try to control the game.
Well, he's
and
got to
just-
find some finesse too. 'Cause remember we were watching that
Dude,
game.
he was throwing
He's
bullets.
throwing 100-mile-an-hour fastballs.
Oh my god, dude! Yeah,
that was nerves. Which he's
Yeah.
gonna have nerves again though.
Yeah, for
he's gonna
sure.
have nerves.
absolutely.
I mean,
Playing
No
in
doubt.
the Sugar Bowl, so
Yeah.
in Nolans.
I'm glad that's not in Georgia. I really am. Like I'm glad like that they're not playing.
Yeah,
in
they
Georgia.
just- they
like
just-
not
yeah.
not getting a home game. Doesn't make a lot of sense why Texas is having to go. Texas and Arizona State go all the way to Georgia instead, but still.
I mean, but out of everybody, that's probably like. I mean, I guess you could have put, like, if you want to do it like geographically, like
You'd have put Texas and Arizona State in the Sugar Bowl.
probably,
Yeah.
or the Rose Bowl, because it'd be closer for Arizona State, like that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
And then have like Oregon and Ohio State go to the Fiesta Bowl.
I mean,
Kind of be like
Well,
down
the-
and down,
down.
like
The winner of the Texas Arizona State and then Oregon Ohio State, they play in Dallas at the Cotton Bowl.
both the games.
No, like the winner of those two, like
Where's the other game played?
it's the Orange Bowl and so one's in Florida and one's in
Okay.
And
Yeah,
Dallas.
thinking back on this, were the games predetermined? Like, or was
Yes.
or was this? It was predetermined.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
had
pretty-
nothing to do
yeah.
with like who actually.
no like
The
one-
seeds-
these
the
seeds are
seeds
playing
were already
here.
playing,
yeah,
yeah.
Okay,
it
that's
was-
what I thought. It just happened to work out like that. Those two are playing in the
Yeah.
Rose Bowl, even though it's a Big Ten.
Yes.
Okay, it just happened to work out that way. That makes sense.
Yeah, but so so I think for sure. I think New Year's Day. I think for sure at least 2 games. I think it's gonna be pretty electric. I think especially that Ohio State Oregon game. I think it's gonna be a ton of points scored in that game again. What was it 32-31 the first time? So
Is the line in the 50s?
it is 55.5.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
That's
and then
tough.
Notre Dame and Georgia is currently at 45.5. That's the lowest.
That's probably about right.
Yeah, which I could definitely see it going under.
Yeah, I agree.
I could see it definitely being a kind of a field goal type of game where it ends up getting close.
But we've
Jaden Daniels got to learn to slide, dude.
dude, you just got like 6 more yards, dude. No, but obviously we're talking about the bowls that are coming up, but we've had some bowl games recently.
Dude,
some
can
pretty
I
good
just say,
matchups,
like-
some crazy results. Like looking at the freaking bowl pick'em thing, man.
The wheels have fallen off.
For me, bad, dude. Like
All of us.
I literally
Yeah,
had a
yesterday was
7-game
bad.
losing streak, man. Like I literally just like every game that went into overtime didn't go my way.
I was 11-1. I'm 21-10 now. So I've
Oh,
been
I-
like 500 ever since I started 11-1.
I don't even know what I am. I didn't even look from
Don't
yesterday.
So
Look
right
at
now,
that.
Will and I are tied at 21-10. You're 16-15.
Dang, still above 500, dude.
Yeah,
That's
you're in the
insane.
50th percentile.
That's
At
good.
one point, Will and I were in the 100th percentile in the nation.
Really?
Yeah, we were crushing it, and then yesterday was bad.
Yeah.
But we got a 3-game lead over the next people though, so we're rolling.
Yeah.
Dude, the game that pissed me off the most was, which I know we picked the same, but dude, that Pitt game. So the one thing I don't understand is like you see like the most like aggressive decision making in bowls because it's like last game of the season, let's go for the win.
Screw it. Kitchen sink.
Yeah. So explain to me how you're Pittsburgh, you're down by 3 points as the second overtime. You're on the 1 yard line. It's 4th and goal. So if I go for it, we either go for the win, we either win. So I get a touchdown from the 1 yard line. They decide to kick a field goal, and then they have to run a 2-point play from the 3 yard line. So why I don't understand that decision
Yeah.
to do that. Like, I mean, I guess like you assume like your defense is going to be able to make a stop and get what you need, but like dude, that just makes absolutely no sense to me why you would decide to do that. Because
I don't
again,
know.
like you go for the win and then it's over. And they end up losing in what was it, the 6th overtime or whatever it was. So
I had Pitt.
like it doesn't make sense like
I
why
also
they
had
decided to
Pitt.
do that. I mean, I
Yeah.
think we all had Pitt because
Yeah.
We also did. I didn't know that Holstein was hurt.
well, yeah, I knew
Yeah.
he was hurt, but he was like they said he was supposed to play, and then he wasn't supposed to play. Like we have
That's
our
another
Prize
thing,
Picks
yeah.
group chat
With betting,
and
man.
so one guy Travis he sent one thing. It said he's not going to play, and then I read ESPN's preview. They're like he is going to play.
Yeah.
And it's like so nobody has any idea like
and
what's
then
going
same thing
on.
with like Cam Ward yesterday.
That one pissed me off.
Like I had Cam Ward over yards, and then they pull him after the second
The
half.
but
entire
do you
game
know
leading
why he
up.
did that though?
just
Why?
to break that record.
He literally
Oh,
did
yeah,
just
to
to break the
break-
ACC
yeah.
record.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
that's the only
no,
reason he played.
he broke the NCAA record.
I thought it was just the ACC record.
He passed Case Keenum for the most touchdowns all time.
Yeah, so that's the only reason he played.
But leading up to the game, it was all Cam Ward's playing. He's playing, and like they weren't saying like, oh, they can't say it, I guess, for PR, but like, so everybody leading up thinking he's playing the game to play the game, and then when you find out it's just that, like that
Yeah.
that sucks.
I mean, I just
I'm not
hate-
saying I still would have picked Iowa State, but like. You get all that leading up, knowing or being told he's going to play football, and then at halftime, they're like, "Actually, he's
I just
checking
hate
out."
that. I get it's only the Pop Tart Bowl, whatever, but I just hate
Which
that,
one won?
Iowa
the
State.
cinnamon roll.
The cinnamon roll.
Iowa
Yeah,
State.
Rocco Becht won the MVP, so he got the pick. So,
Nice.
but dude, but that's what I mean. So they say Cam Ward's going to play. He plays one half. They're winning, and then he sits on the sideline in his pads and watches them lose.
Awful.
Like, dude, like how like. I get,
As a competitor,
exactly.
yeah.
Like I get it's a nonsense bowl, whatever.
$30-something million contract he's about to sign in
Yeah,
4 months.
That's
yeah,
very true.
and for him, like I get it, but like as a competitor, like you just hate to see that. Like literally him standing, like he didn't even like get undressed. He sat in his pads and watched the rest of that
Yeah.
game. Like
Yeah, but then you go watch Shador and Travis say like, "Yeah, we're gonna do it for Colorado. We're gonna do it for everybody," and then they just go get their ass kicked by BYU.
yeah.
absolutely curb stomp, dude.
I mean, like it was never.
Like, that
close.
was rough.
Any stats they got late was they're just trying to like save face, but BYU beat them up and down the field.
It's because they're 28.
yeah.
They're men.
Yeah,
They're
that's
men
right.
playing boys.
They go do missions for 3 years and then come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously that pissed us all off. But I don't think it pissed Will off more than another game pissed like him off. So
Dude, I
what
could-
What a
happened?
neat
We could.
transition.
What?
I could rant the end of this show.
What a Las Vegas bowl, dude. So
That's way too late though. I fell asleep.
USC's quarterback.
I should have.
Yeah.
I would have
Opting
saved
out.
a lot of heartache and consumed a lot less beer if I would not have stayed up.
Yeah.
Just start with whiskey. It's not as bad.
You should forget.
Man,
I just laughed, dude. I know he said before the pod, but it was 24-7. You're like, where's this team been? And then the team that we all know and and that you love,
Aggie gonna Aggie.
all of a
man.
sudden showed up. And dude, it was so funny too, because like, so A&M takes the lead with what was it, a minute and a half left.
Yeah.
And Brock Osweiler's like, remember this dude, Marcel Reed. He's
Did he say that?
dude.
on
He was
broadcast?
hyping him up like right after because he rushed in for the touchdown.
Yeah, I know.
19-yard great read.
they hyped him up, and then USC just goes straight down the field.
No, from top to bottom, just a joke of an institution. Institution, not a football team. Just a joke of an institution. Everything's off. 8-5 again. I've said it. I'll say it again. Death taxes. Texas A&M going 8-5. Like we're just gonna find a way to do it.
Hey, they did show Mike Elko in the casino before the game, so I mean, like,
Dude. I don't. Did you ever watch them pan to him during the game? Like he just looks like a confused guy. Like he's just like looking like
He really does.
looks like Mike
just,
McCarthy.
looking over like what?
He looks like
What
a
are we
thumb.
Yeah.
He's got that hand on his hip, and he's
Yeah.
just
wearing those
looking,
little like those little.
the little readers, like.
He looks like a thumb.
And I've said it again too. Colin Klein, he's got to get his head out of his ass sometimes. I just don't get what he's calling. That first half was good, and we were seeing more of the Reed plays again,
Yeah.
like the stuff that works. Reed was having a great game, and then we just don't know how to move the ball. The whole second half of the third quarter, defense is playing prevent defense again, like trying not to lose. And every time you do that, you lose the game. And then all of a sudden we go down, 7 plays, 75 yards, just a 2-minute drill made in heaven. And then USC goes and runs one right behind us. But I don't know.
But again, dude, like, and I always make this argument, like, I hate the play not to lose defense.
It's so dumb.
like, and everybody does it, and it almost never works.
But offense as well. Like it's like you get a lead and it's like, all right, we're gonna run, be in a 3rd and 8, and we're gonna pass and not get it. And it's 3 and outs,
Incomplete,
and it
yeah.
happens.
Stop the
so
clock.
many coaches do it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't just why quit what was working. I don't. It makes. I don't know. That's why I'm not a coach. I guess that's why I'm sitting here complaining about a lot of people that make a lot more money than me. But I don't understand the idea behind it.
But I do agree. I mean, like, it's just crazy how, like, you all of a sudden just change everything that you've done. And teams all across America at every level, they always do it. And it almost
do,
it,
yeah.
it comes
it
back to bite
backfires
'em
way more than
it
it doesn't.
works.
Yeah, like,
Texas did it last year against OU.
But yeah.
exactly. Yeah, like,
But how like, okay, so I don't know how much is to be said about it, but like how much is it about the intensity too, right? So like you're like if you run a high powered like offense, you're just go. Like if that's the case, why doesn't everybody run a 2-minute offense? You know what I mean?
I've made that argument before.
Yeah, but
Look
by
how
the end
much-
by the end of the game, you're gassed. Like and that can play
I'm
a
not
part
even
into
saying
it as
has
well.
to be the hurry up, but the play calling changes in the 2-minute. And I
Yeah.
understand a lot of that has to do with hurry up. And in 2-minute, you're not subbing, so defenses get tired.
Yeah.
Because you're not subbing. I get all of that. But you can watch football all the time. How many times does a 2-minute drill work for a touchdown? Like teams that have been going 3 and out just march down 80 yards like it's no problem.
Yeah, but there's also times where, like, I mean, as an LSU fan, against Alabama, like, they're not playing prevent. They're blitzing the crap out of them, and they run a screen for 80 yards. TJ Yeldon wins the game. Yeah. Like, that can happen, too.
That's
So,
true.
like there are
Not that
times.
you have nightmares about that.
Dude, I was there that game. I was there that night. It was
That'd have been
awful.
10 years ago.
Just glad I wasn't in
Yeah.
Vegas for this debacle.
But that happens. Like, so, I mean, you can look at it both ways. Like, because you also can't put your corners out on an island if you're sending 6 people
Well,
trying
is
to
it
pressure the
chicken or
quarterback.
egg? Does a 2-minute offense work because the
The
defense
prevent.
defense goes prevent?
Well, I was gonna
or
say,
is it
like, you don't-
because they're in rhythm?
like, you
No,
don't ha-
because there's even times where the game's tied. And it works. And you're not playing prevent if the game's tied.
But I mean, and that's the thing is, like, if your base defense, what you've been doing the entire game has been working fine.
Why are you sagging
Why
off?
all of a sudden are you backing everybody off?
Why are you giving 15-yard
Yes.
outs to the
That's
sideline?
That's a great point.
Do
because
it
it's
all the time.
Because they do like the keep everything in front, but when keeping everything in front is 8, 10, 12 yards at a time, like
March down the field.
like-
we
like-
literally let USC do it after we scored.
yeah.
Like they go on a 9-play 80-yard, whatever the hell it was, a lot. I mean,
I'd rather him play up close and press, and if he gets by, you tackle him and take the 15-yard penalty.
But that's the thing is,
but
like,
if you get beat deep and they go score, well, you get the ball back. Now you just let them march down the field and score with 3 seconds left.
Yeah.
Like play defense, play football.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
play your normal defense, and if
Yeah.
you're worried about getting burned, just tackle the receiver and take the 15-yard
Like
penalty.
I'll take that loss, but don't give me the loss like Pat Narduzzi not going for it on the 1-yard line.
Yeah, that's
like
brutal.
don't I have the balls to at least try it? I mean, what's the worst case? You lose. You freaking lost anyway. Like, what's the worst case? You go 8-5. I mean, who cares? It's the freaking Las Vegas Bowl. Just
hey, they beat
Bro.
LSU on that same field.
USC did. They're undefeated in that stadium this year.
What if they're going to try to relocate?
They should.
Just take over the
Go to
SEC.
Vegas. Yeah.
Forget Los Angeles. We're going to Vegas.
Yeah.
They said that Mike Elko was too focused on buffets and blackjack.
God.
Oh, man.
Was he really in the casino?
He actually was, dude. It was like all over Twitter because like all the Aggies are like, "That's my coach," and then everybody's just trashing him after the game.
God.
Oh man,
OU lost in heartbreaking fashion too. It's a good
Dude,
time to be a Texas fan.
that game.
I picked Navy.
Did
I did too.
I
did
picked
too.
Navy.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
because I thought for sure when Navy won, I was like, "Oh no, Brian didn't pick Navy too."
Yeah.
Son of a gun, he did.
Well,
So
dude,
I didn't gain any
Oklahoma's Oklahoma's
They
entire
lost the world.
offense is gone, and then they go down and they drive
They
and
got-
score with ease their
They came
first
out
two
hot.
drives,
They came out hot.
and then they don't score the rest of the game. And dude, like
2-minute drill.
Yeah, exactly.
2-minute drill.
Yep,
Just
exactly.
march down the
exactly.
field.
And I remember watching that game, and I was like, dude, you gotta go for the win if you score here. And I was glad they did. I mean,
Again,
like it makes no sense. And again, like I'll back Venables up on that all the time. Your offense was doing absolutely nothing. You finally find a way to score, and dude, like if you go and kick an extra point there, go to overtime. That's like the dumbest thing you could have done. So I'm glad that he went for the win.
Oh
Like,
no! Now Oklahoma doesn't have an Armed Forces Bowl
yeah,
trophy. in the
exactly,
case.
exactly. At the end of the day, like, why
Exactly.
would you go into overtime and force
Who
that?
cares, man? Like, at least show like you're trying, man. So yeah, I'm with you. I have no problem with Venables going for it there.
I wonder.
And helping the guys out.
I wonder how they're going to be with the Washington State quarterback coming in. I wonder if that'll help them their offense.
I
At
think
all.
he was the #1 quarterback in the portal.
Yeah, he was for sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they need something. That offense was atrocious this year.
Yeah, but you
They
got
lost
to
so
bring
many-
more. You got
they-
to bring something else back.
Yeah, they lost so many. They lost Nick Anderson, their wide receiver, their tight end.
Well, they
like,
lost like
everybody.
their top 3 receivers, didn't they?
Well, yeah,
Like it was a lot. But, yeah, that's rough.
yeah, not a great look. At least they
Especially when you're trying to compete in the SEC. Like,
yeah, but at least they gave Arnold a shot instead of Dylan Gabriel.
yeah, that really
That
worked out
well.
didn't
It
it?
worked
Yeah.
out really well.
That worked out well for him.
Where did he
Yeah.
transfer to?
Who? Arnold?
Yeah.
Auburn.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dylan Gabriel's doing all right.
man.
I don't know why he wanted to jump into that Hugh Freeze dumpster fire. He just got out of one at Oklahoma. Like, let's just go try this one and see if it's any better. or
But I mean,
worse.
Auburn's recruiting class is really good, and they're having a good portal class
Yeah.
too. So
quality
I mean,
win over a bad 8-5 Aggie team.
So speaking of the
right.
transfer portal, so like I know we've talked about yours before, like going to the draft or transferring. Like, dude, like I watched Kyle McCord play in that. Was it the Holiday Bowl or whatever bowl he played in? It was a Holiday Bowl, and dude, like that dude was just shredding. Like,
He's
like
good.
I know they're playing Washington State, who's bad, but dude, like the way, like his, like I feel like he's improved his draft stock throughout the year.
They're
Like,
for 450.
yeah, it was like 450. Yeah, and I get he's playing at Syracuse, but like it was kind of the same thing. Like we were talking about Ewers, like getting offered on Michigan State. Like his strength of schedule is not like their strength of schedule is not great next year. I mean, it's tough for Michigan State, but like I mean, he has a potential. I think like if he does kind of like if he's able to do like what McCord does, I mean, I think that would benefit him.
Yeah.
More than jumping in right now, because right now if he jumps in, he would be the number 5 quarterback,
yeah.
which would probably dump him down into the second round for sure.
Unless he just goes bananas the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like that's the only thing that would change.
And I don't see any way that he all of a sudden just clicks and just figures it out. Like,
But McCord's going to the draft for sure. I mean, unless NCAA grants him another year,
yeah,
which could happen.
they have him as like
he's out
the
of eligibility.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
have
See
him
that tight end from Miami finally played his
9
last game,
years?
first
9
9
in.
years.
Dude's 27 years old.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
He's not with BYU?
No.
Oh.
He was at Oregon.
Yeah, I know.
Had like the
I just heard you say nuts. I was like, what?
I said that was nuts.
Oh.
What a neat deal.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. It is interesting to think about like whether Ewers should consider it at least because, I mean, like right now he's a second, third round pick. I mean, I don't.
Unless somebody reaches,
Yeah, but if he's considered the number 5 quarterback,
somebody
I don't know if
reach.
he is. I bet he's probably.
I mean,
I'd almost argue he might be third.
well, I was gonna say like because right now they have him behind
Shadur.
it's Shadur and Ward,
Ward.
are top 2,
So
and then number 3. I can
gonna
never
grade
remember who
Beck?
number
Are you
3
gonna grade
is.
Gabriel?
Beck's number 4.
No.
McCord.
No, McCord's like the number 7.
That's
rated or
crazy.
something. Yeah,
What,
like,
Where's Will Howard?
what's gonna not even?
he's
probably.
not on.
I mean,
there. He's like number 10 or
I
something.
think what's
like,
gonna happen is like what happens all the time with NFL scouts. His ceiling seems higher. Like
Yeah.
they'll say he has the intangibles to be a better NFL quarterback. So if you put him in the right situation and gets the right coaching, he can develop and he'll be a better prospect. So he'll get drafted higher, even though McCord might throw better. Or
Jalen Milroe's number 3.
Or Gabriel's gonna run your offense better. I don't think he's leaving. I think he's coming back.
Who?
Milroe.
oh.
You said
There's
Milroe.
apparently some rumor that
I heard he's coming back too.
Notre Dame has like some big time transfer quarterback. Like apparently is like
That's what they've been
rumored
banking
to go
on,
over to
man.
him.
They went with that kid from Wake Forest, and then now Leonard.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. I wonder if it's like a Ewers or
a
something
Ewers,
like
yeah.
that goes to Notre Dame.
I mean,
I don't know
with that schedule. I mean, Notre Dame's schedule's probably not good next year either.
No, I mean it's probably similar to what it is this year.
Yeah. I think it's carbon copy of this year.
Yeah, just flipping sites.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I mean,
it
that'd
doesn't
be a
hurt.
good landing spot for Ewers,
Can
honestly.
you imagine that dude, him going to Notre Dame and starting a season off against Texas A&M?
I could see it.
That game's actually week 3.
Is it week 3 next year?
They changed it up. We were talking about it earlier. It's actually week 3.
Well, it kind of goes to what Lucas talked about earlier in the year about not putting your big time matchups right off the bat,
Yeah. and
which is
Tex-
what
Except
Texas
for
is doing.
Texas
Starting
and LSU.
LSU
both did.
Arch
LSU's
Manning.
Yeah.
Arch Manning
It's-
starting as a full time starter in
I think
Ohio
it's
State.
at Ohio State.
It
right?
is.
is,
It's in
yeah.
Columbus, and LSU opens the first week at Clemson.
Yeah, the only difference
That's
is
why I'm hoping Klubnik's gone.
Yeah.
He hasn't made a decision either, so that's another one you got to throw in the hat of the quarterbacks.
you imagine how much they're going to anoint Arch if he goes and wins at Ohio State. Like they're just going to act like he's already won the Heisman and a national title.
Yeah.
Like he'll be the greatest quarterback ever if he goes and wins that game.
Because he is.
Yeah, he already is, dude. Because if you extrapolate his stats over a 12-game season, he's going to win the Heisman.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just
Never mind the fact that Joel Monroe and whoever
Yeah.
else they played.
Yeah, that's what Aggie did with
Mississippi
Connor
State.
Wegman.
It wasn't just Aggie, man.
Oh, yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
all the talking heads like, oh man, you take these across 12 games. Like he was what 5th best odds to win the Heisman.
Yeah, he was
Houston
high.
got a good one. Houston Cougars got a good one. Apparently,
He'll probably thrive there in Houston.
I said that earlier. I think
Yeah.
he will. I mean, he was also playing Big 12 defenses who give up points, and Connor can throw the ball.
Yeah.
So if they can just have somebody for him to throw to, he'll probably be fine.
Early next
Does
season,
he have
dark
anybody
horse.
to throw to?
Houston, dark horse in the Big 12.
Houston was horrible this year, man. Like they were so bad.
Man,
They were
I
bad.
don't even know what to think about the Big 12 because like moving forward for next year, because this year made no sense. And I said on here I think before, I wouldn't even be shocked if somehow Oklahoma State goes 10-2.
And wins it, yeah.
Just wins it after just being crap for this.
Did
entire
Mike
year.
did Mike Gundy call their bluff?
Yeah.
No, he took
So-
a pay cut.
They reconciled.
Oh, so he did take a pay cut.
Took a pay cut.
Yeah.
Okay, because I know at one point he was like, "Nah." Like-
I think it was. I've seen it a couple different places. So like, they took the pay cut, but the money's going into like the NIL initiative.
well, that was like their like demand. It was like we're either gonna fire you or you take less money so we can get players in.
I want to say he's taking like half of what his salary.
They
was gonna
can't. They
be.
couldn't have their QR code, so they had to find a different way to
Yeah.
do
To
it.
get
So
the-
Did they
to
ever
get the
take the
money.
QR code off?
before
Yeah.
the season even started, the
Oh.
NCAA said they couldn't do it.
Dude,
Yeah.
I missed that.
But at the end of the day, the NCAA really has no leverage. They could have done it. What would have happened?
Yeah.
Legitimately.
I mean,
Nothing.
I don't know. Could they fine you? Like,
I don't know.
Yeah, but how much are they really going to fine you?
God, dude, that's brutal.
NCAA does whatever they want because there's nobody to govern them, so they just I'm gonna do this,
Yeah.
and all the schools just follow along.
Yeah, and then there's a lawsuit that changes it all, and it doesn't matter. Like the Pavia thing with JUCO.
Yeah. Do you think he's gonna get another year?
He did.
He already
They
did.
already
no,
said.
No. They said that kids in Pavia's situation have gotten it.
No, they
No.
already told him he did.
Oh, they
yeah,
did.
It's
yeah.
just
Yeah.
this specific one is just for Pavia, and then they came out and they granted every JUCO an extra season.
Yeah, because he's the
for
one
this
that
year.
he's the one that sued or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
They did like an injunction for it, and they made it across the board. If you were in JUCO, you get an extra year at this moment, and then they'll revisit it and see what happens.
What do y'all
Pavia's back.
think about
Vanderbilt
that?
Dark Horse?
I mean, I think it has more impact in college baseball than it does in college football. To be honest,
I don't
Like-
think it's like
in college football, like your Pavias, like they're more rare.
Yeah, they're
Like-
few and far between.
like-
Like the Cam Newtons of the world.
Yeah, that's not as.
But
that's
even
not
Cam Newton's deal, like he was at Florida for a year. He transferred because they didn't have the transfer portal, so he went to Blinn,
Yeah,
and then he went to Auburn.
I thought he got
was,
kicked.
He was already.
Didn't he get-
He got kicked off.
I was like, he got kicked out of Florida because his grades were terrible.
no, he stole a computer.
Yeah, I don't know if he ever really got kicked off, but he left because he was gonna get kicked off.
Yeah.
So whatever you want to call it.
Hey, he won a natty at Blinn.
Yeah, he did,
He did.
and then won at Auburn.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think that's going to be that big of a deal in football. In baseball, it's going to be a huge
Baseball
deal.
and basketball will be for sure.
Well, I mean
I
basketball.
think you can see it in basketball more than football.
But think about how many like legit dudes are in JUCO baseball and they're just not developed yet, and they have an extra year in JUCO. Like that's a huge JUCO balls in baseball is huge.
For sure.
And if they give them an extra 2 years, like that's crazy.
So then you're getting 6 years.
Yeah,
They
You
get
know-
4, right?
I think JUCO's only 2.
Yeah, JUCO's 2.
Oh, okay.
JUCO's 2 years of eligibility, and then you go 4.
But that being said, you can come out of a JUCO after 1 year and go. to
Yes,
the
you can.
draft.
Yes.
So, I don't know that you'll like.
In baseball,
I
though, like
think-
you can get drafted at JUCO.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to a big school like you do in football to like get draft stock.
No, absolutely.
There was a string there where Jeff Luno took at least 1 or 2 players from this Oklahoma JUCO, like in the later rounds. He took like every year took 2 or 3 guys from there.
Like Kyle Tucker and
Yeah, that guy.
Playing Northwestern State. And,
Well, who was? There's a catcher that we had at one point who came from there.
Corey Lee.
No, and then he played Abraham Toro.
Oh, Abraham Toro, yeah.
Abraham Toro. He went to that JUCO. There's like 2 other, like a couple of pitchers went there as well.
But dude, JUCO's just the freaking Wild West, man. There's no regulation. All of them are juiced up and
It's nuts.
like literally like international like players who like just coming into the country just to get some playing time and get exposure.
Albert Pujols went to a JUCO.
Yeah, no, I know. Like a lot of times that's what they do. Like a lot of the internationals, they'll come into JUCO and they'll just be dogs, and then get drafted.
Because they're 28 years
Well, yeah,
old.
no, absolutely, and they're on steroids because there's no regulation.
They don't test at all?
No, not in JUCO.
In NJC?
No,
Wow.
it's crazy.
Interesting. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is wild.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's literally the Wild West. But yeah,
makes it fun to watch, though.
dude, hitting nukes, man.
I wish they'd bring back the orange stealth, the stealth comp, and just let dudes just rip.
Do that and
Beast or
the
bats.
Easton Stealth.
Yeah,
That's the
dude.
one. Yeah, the orange stealth comp.
But they had the blue one that had like it literally sounded like a wood bat. It just like it was just
Those
out-
composite bats.
yeah,
Yeah,
it would just it would crack, dude.
The exo grid.
Oh, the EXO was nuts, dude.
That was the best bat. I
The
love
white
those
one?
bats.
There's a guy, he's on YouTube and TikTok. Like all he does is like go hit like
Yeah.
with old bats, and like he's
Hits tanks.
115 mile an hour exit velocity,
Yeah.
550 feet.
Yeah, he's
like,
just hitting tanks.
over a grocery store.
Yeah.
At this field. It's
I've seen
nuts.
Those were the good days, man.
Yeah,
Good times.
like the DeMarinis. Like those DeMarinis were hot.
The DeMarini Voodoo.
Voodoo.
Double wall.
Yeah, just not safe.
No.
Wow. What a play, dude.
Veteran,
4th and goal.
25-year-old quarterback, man, veteran.
Yeah, speaking of
first start-
speaking of dudes that
second
get
start.
get several years of Michael Penix, dude.
They're going for 2.
They should.
No, this is a playoff.
Oh yeah, the Falcons.
Oh yeah,
are
the
playoff
Falcons got to
team.
win out.
Yeah, Falcons have to win out. No,
Oh no, they don't have to win out.
The
They,
Bucks won today, so I think the Falcons on the tiebreaker over the Bucks.
yeah,
We're watching the Commanders and the Falcons, by the way, guys.
Sunday
But-
night football.
Yeah,
But
but
nah, man.
but yeah, it's gonna be an interesting week for sure. We'll kind of touch
Yeah,
on it.
I mean
all
there
next
have been
week
a
for
lot
sure.
of good bowls. I mean, all things considered, I mean it's been a lot of fun to watch. So.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl.
Oh
Snoop
yeah,
just
dude.
sponsored himself.
Was that the
that.
East Carolina, NC State?
I think.
No, that was Miami, Ohio, and Colorado
yeah,
State.
on the CW.
Yeah, they took away the bar stool, dude. Sad day. Dude, did y'all see that brawl with East Carolina and NC State?
Nah,
So, an East Carolina player took the towel from the NC State guy, and so he tried to go get it back, and dude, it just turned to a brawl. Like, dude, like the officials on the field. Like one of them came out bleeding.
I saw the bleeding.
Dude,
of
it
the
was
official,
bad.
yeah.
Like there's still like 30 seconds left in the game or something. Like just absolutely just started throwing down. Like
Did y'all have East Carolina?
I had
took
NC State.
Yeah, me too.
Bad, dude.
Yeah, it's
Dude, I picked Boston College over Nebraska. I don't even know what I was thinking in that one.
I had them up until game day, and the only reason I went and flipped is because BC didn't have their starting quarterback.
And dude, did you see
That's
the
the only
end
reason
of
I
it?
flipped.
They almost came back and won.
Yeah, no, I had Boston College, and then that morning when I was checking stuff, I was like, man, I went and relooked, and BC's quarterback he transferred, so I went flipped to
Pat
Nebraska.
Mahomes Jr. running down the sideline like hyping everybody up
Jeez.
in,
No,
in the Wasabi Fenway Bowl.
I was looking. Is that what it was?
Yeah, they're playing
Oh
Fenway
my
Park.
God.
Talk about the Wild West. These names are out of hand.
No, at the beginning of the bowl season, I was like checking like transfers and opt outs and stuff, and like I gotta work. And I just don't have time for that.
Well, I was
You're
gonna say, like,
just
I make all
chilling.
my picks before it starts, and like I just let it ride.
Oh, so you've just let it ride since the beginning?
Yeah, the only pick I changed is I changed
James
to
Madison?
South Florida last minute,
Yeah.
which that ended up coming clutch.
Yeah.
It's a great.
I think I
pick.
was on the other end of that.
Yeah.
Got that Frisco Bowl coming up too. Texas State and UNT.
Yeah, they should win that one, honestly. But
Yeah,
I want to see how quick they drink the stadium dry this year.
they're gonna be prepared.
dude, I actually did see.
You're gonna
like,
go to the game?
It's on the
I'm
third.
thinking about
It's
it.
on the third. It's right there.
Yeah, we'll be back by then. That's Saturday, right?
Friday.
Friday. Ooh, I might have to take off.
It's the problem is
Gotta go
it's
pregame.
at 3:00 in the afternoon though.
Yeah, it
Take off, go
sucks.
pregame.
Yeah. But yeah.
I'll
I
come.
might.
Yeah.
If you go.
Dang, that's already this week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
God, dude, this is
Bowl
crazy,
season's almost over.
Yeah.
Bowl season ends this week.
dude.
Besides, the final
Yesterday
12
was
games.
so much fun, dude. Like 7 bowl games, 2 NFL games. Like it was
I
a good-
worked.
3
Sports.
NFL games. Sorry, it was a good day, dude.
Yeah.
And you worked through it all.
Yeah. I did.
No, it should be a good week though. I got nothing else, guys.
Yeah, I'm good.
Good.
Glad we could clarify our Chief Wahoo information.
Yep. Yep.
So
Again, if anybody has something to counter that, if you find some evidence, hit us up. Love to find the real Chief Wahoo.
if you find some fossils in the dried up
Yeah.
lake, and you,
He's out there somewhere.
It's like
Yeah.
Bigfoot.
that's right.
So, yeah.
It's just waiting to be found.
Oh man,
But yeah.
good deal. Hopefully this episode came out good. I'm sure.
We'll make some edits. It'll be all right.
It'll be all right. But all right. Well, we appreciate everybody coming in. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year. Enjoy the bowl season. Continue to like, subscribe, share. I know you're out there driving, so just spend an hour and a half with us, listening to us talk, and just continue to tell your friends and just continue to listen. And we appreciate it. So the winners of the shirts, we're still working on that, getting those sent out. We did not forget about you. Kevin, thanks for sending your address. We'll make sure to get that out to you. But other than that, we will see you next week.
See ya.